Evening, all. Welcome back to Instant Spurs, episode 19. Hope you guys are all doing well. Big up to people in the chat. Big up to people watching at home. Please smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new here. Thank you so much. Guys, breaking news today. Let's welcome in our guests. Start off with Cookie. How you doing, mate? Thank you for joining us.
Mate. Evening to Eugene. Evening to Matt. Evening to yourself. Evening to all the people that are going to come flooding in here shortly when we all give our opinion on Mr. Tudor.
Yeah, Tudor's test. It is a test. It's going to be a test for him. Cheers, Cookie. Eugene, mate, been a while. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Good to be on. Good to talk to you guys. I've had some therapy last couple of days. Had time to gather my thoughts, so I'm not as angry or frustrated at this point, so I'm more calm. So
calm head needed. Yeah, big decision today, eh? We're going to get into it, but thanks, Eugene, for coming on. And Matt, how are you, man? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Dan. Hello to everybody in the stream. Yeah, personally, I think embrace it. You know, I think it's a kind of, this is what we've got. This is what we're left with. Playing squad and a manager. Just roll your sleeves up. It's not ideal, but just roll your sleeves up and give it your best crack. So for me, he's going to get my full energy, my full support, and hopefully he gets enough wins to get us over the line.
Yeah, well, we're going to get into it. Cheers, Matt. Thanks for coming on, guys. Much appreciated. Let's just go to the chat, see who's in here. If anyone's here, to say hello. Big up to Nige. How you doing, man? Big up, chaps in chat. Have a great show. Sorry, I can't hop on. No worries, mate. You have a good evening, and I know you're going live in the morning. So yeah, plenty to talk about. Cheers, Nige. Look, I mean, I was at work today. Yeah, I've had such a busy day, but obviously I've got wind of the news. Eyes on the phone, looking at the reaction. I mean, it's crazy. This is completely left field, this appointment. I don't think anybody had him on their radar. I know about the guy. He's managed against us, doesn't he, for Marseille in that Champions League. You remember that crazy game with Holberg? He was the manager of Marseille then. I do know of him. Early on in his career, he was known for getting teams out of trouble. And then he started to progress a bit more. He went over to Juventus, started off as assistant coach to Pirlo, and then he got the job, got them into the Champions League. But then he lost his job the season after. I think it was just poor run. Eight games without a win. And yeah, he moved on. Look, initial thoughts, guys. Anyone can go first. You know, when you saw the news, what was your reaction to it?
I don't mind. I'll go first. Bit underwhelmed, if you like, Dan. I don't know. There's been lots of talk about getting people in that are connected to Spurs, maybe know the Tottenham way, if you like. That type of thing. I think the only fella that's mentioned this bloke was Paratici in December time, and he was put forward then. It was blew out the water. No, we don't want him. We're doing what we're doing. And now Thomas Frank gets the sack, and all of a sudden this fella's coming in to save the day, which is fine. You know, it's not up to us at the end of the day. It's up to them. But I'm pretty much like Matt. I'm at the stage where I don't care, Dan, who's the manager. I don't care about the style of play. I don't give a toss what anyone thinks. Get 4 wins and make sure we're safe. End of story.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with it, mate, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. Eugene, where you at with it?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know much about the guy. I've been listening to different opinions. Some say he's too defensive. Some say he's too attacking. I don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody has been really watching Serie A and analyzing, the film and watching film. So for me, I don't think, fans would be happy regardless of who we brought in the interim. For me, it's less to do with tactics and more about somebody who can motivate the team, just a different voice. I wouldn't be opposed to Robbie Keane, somebody with Spurs, but of course he wouldn't, join without commitment. That's going to be a long-term hire, so that wouldn't be happening. But other than that, there were no great options at this point. So do I like him? No, I have no idea. My only concern is, and that applies to my thoughts on players that we bring in, I like proven players and proven managers. So my concern is that he's not proven. Is that going to make a big difference? I'm not sure. I hope he'll find a way to get us, as Cookie said, 3-4 wins. But again, regardless of tactics, regardless of how we set up, all that matters is just somehow getting a few wins. If he can motivate the players, that's all he needs to do right now. Everything else is not important. We go again in the summer.
Well, before I go to Matt, like they clearly said they wanted an interim only, right? They didn't want a permanent, or maybe they couldn't get the permanent they wanted. I don't know. Obviously, there's so much more choice in the summer. Yeah, we know all the options. Yeah, so it's getting a manager in to the end of the season who can galvanise the team, a poor performing team, a team in a relegation battle, not won a game since Palace away in December, 2 wins in 17, a team on the floor with confidence, team riddled with injuries, right? It's a tough job to come in and pick this lot up, right? I've got to be honest. Look, many fans wanted someone like Harry coming in. He wanted the job. He was on TalkSport or Sky Sports wanting the job, take the job. A lot of fans were hoping that he'd come in, right, uplift that fan base straight away. Not him. But look, initially when I saw the appointment, I thought, okay, he's quite a demanding manager. He presses, high press, plays with wing backs. Although we haven't got wing backs at the moment, although we haven't got fit centre backs. But it's somebody who doesn't mess about. He's quite strong personality. And I think these players, Matt, they need a kick up the arse, don't they?
Yeah, look, I think if obviously there's so many leaked, reports about the players turning up late for certain training sessions, certain matches, certain players not happy with the leaders group and felt that they should have been in it and they were excluded, and it explains now why a couple of the players ignored Frank coming off the pitch when he asked them to go and clap the fans. So all these kind of leaked releases has done the playing squad no good. And if I was a player and that had come out, the first thing I'd want to do is make sure in the next football match I do my bit for the team. So he sounds a disciplinarian. I'll be honest, I don't know much about him. I don't know much about him at all. But they need, I mentioned earlier, Spurs need a circuit breaker. They need somebody to just come in, a different voice, a different presence, that none of them know. I don't think there's any Croatian players in the squad. So none of them know in particular,
they played with him. Moani played under him, I think.
Moani, yeah. Okay, correction. Moani has played with him. But most of the squad don't know him. So I'm hoping he's just going to come in and basically say, I've got a job to do. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to get results. We've got 12, 13 cup finals, how many games we've got left, and put a shift in, because I can almost excuse a poor pass or a poor shot or a poor cross. What I can't accept is players not running. and there was clear examples in the last couple of games where we weren't running with the ball, and we certainly weren't running without the ball. So if he can get that and add that into the team, we've got a chance. You only have to look at teams like Sunderland. You only have to look at teams like Brentford against Arsenal yesterday. They've got no world beaters, Brentford, but they all run around. They all make it difficult for the opposition. Football's a simple game. It's a really simple game. When you've got the ball, make something happen. And when you haven't got the ball, stop the other team from making something happen. And we've been too easy to play against for too long, and it needs to stop.
Is he the right guy? Do you know much about him, Matt? Have you followed his career?
No.
Don't know much about
I'll be honest. I don't know anything about him at all, and I'm almost glad that I don't, because I think just listen to some of the podcasters and YouTubers and whatever else. I think some people have got this preconceived idea that he's never settled at one club, or he's not been successful wherever he's been, and he's never won a trophy and so on. But I think we just need to just put our agendas, put our preconceived ideas to one side, get behind Tottenham, and let's hope we get some results. We can do our post-mortems in the summer. Let's just get behind the club.
Look, Matt, fair points, mate. Honestly, I've looked at the reaction, especially in the circles that we're all in and online. It's not good. It's not a good reaction. People are not happy. They're really not happy. And some fans think he's going to send us down. Seriously, they do. They think this guy, how does he warrant the job? Could we got someone better? No Prem experience. He's managed multiple clubs. I mean, I don't know how many, but he's been everywhere. Not been in the Premier League though, but I think he's managed Galatasaray, Marseille, number of clubs in Italy. One thing is, he's very experienced, right? And he got a bit of bottle coming to Spurs because, he's obviously realised what's going on at the club and that we're in desperate situation. He's willing to take the job on. I mean, he's got some balls, ain't Cookie, to come in and pick this underperforming team up.
Yeah, look, what's he got? You can say what's he got to lose at the end of the day, because if it did go wrong, he'd just go on his galloping on his way, might be out of work for 3 or 6 months because it was a disaster, and then he'll pick up somewhere else again. What I have noticed is, apart from his initial stint at Hijack Split, I believe, he doesn't stay anywhere too long, whether that be if he gets sacked, whatever. I think it's 9 clubs in the last 10 years that he's served, if I'm correct. And I could be wrong, by the way. But listen, like I said, it's out of our hands. Did anyone pick this fella? Is there anyone out there that you said, Igor Tudor's the man for this? No, I don't think there is. But like Matt says, he's here now. I'm hoping that this big framed, has got a bit of a reputation
Presence.
Back in the day when he was a player, of being a bit of an hard nut type of fella. I just want him to go in there and let them know, in whichever way he would do it, that these players are playing for Tottenham. And first and foremost, when you walk out of that tunnel, right, number one, you give 110%. And number two, you got that badge on you, right? And let it be recognised to these players, the position that they are now in. Do you know what I mean? So if he can do the job, go and get the 3-4 wins, whatever it is that we need to stay up, then do you know what? Fair play to the geezer. Fair play to him. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. We as fans and the club as the club will have to deal with it. We'll talk about that when it happens. But good luck to the fella. I hope he can do something, change something, and just make us, more competitive. Because at the moment, we don't even look competitive. Half these players out there ain't interested, or they don't look interested. You know what I mean? So for me, you get 11 players. I don't want players in the dressing room anymore managing the club, right? The manager's there to do a job. Romero, you're out for however many games, but be a captain. Do your talking on the pitch. All of you now. do your talking on the pitch. Listen to the instructions. Take them out. If it goes wrong, you've listened to his instructions. You know what I mean? Give the geezer a chance. Let him come in, do his business. We might all be shocked. Who knows? You know, he might have 3 or 4 days on the training ground and something changes. Who knows? We won't know until they come out and play Arsenal, you know, and then we'll go from there. I think we've got winnable games, Dan, throughout the season, to be honest with you. You know, I've said to you, I'm more worried about not where we are now. It's if we get dragged in, for argument's sake, you know, if we lose to Arsenal and West Ham get a result, all of a sudden you're 2 points. Do you know what I mean? And then it's squeaky bum time. And I don't know, this manager might have bring enough with him and have enough about him to get enough out of them to do what they've got to do, you know, but we'll find out. We'll find out.
Can I ask you, Cookie, did you have any confidence under Frank if we fell into the bottom 3, you would have got us out?
No. In the end, no.
Same.
I didn't.
Boys, like, my issue is with these players, they obviously down tools. Not the first time it happens on this team under different managers. Obviously, they don't care about relegation to actually step up and, you know, and improve their games, including our captain. My concern is that with this guy coming in, will they respect him enough to listen to him and to actually, you know, and play better? Again, forget about the tactics for a second. Will they actually listen to him, and will he be able to get a tune out of him? I'm not sure. I don't know. He's not a big name, you know, so ultimately at this point, it comes down to whether the players want to avoid relegation or not. And the way they've been playing for last few months, it's obvious that they don't care. So the question now is, will they care right now or not? Whoever the manager is right now for the next few months is not as relevant as will the players listen and actually decide to play to their potential.
He's got to pick it up. Like, honestly, these players, yeah, they got to pick it up. Honestly, they must realise the seriousness of the situation, and you know, I just hope they listen to this new manager. He's not a big name, Eugene. You're right. He's not on anyone's list as a Spurs supporter who wanted to. It's like, yeah, let's bring in Tudor in. Yeah, no one said it. I haven't seen anybody suggest him. Yeah, we all kind of knew Paratici wanted to bring him in or something, didn't we, earlier? I think, Cookie, you said it.
Yeah.
But let's have a look at his kind of style of play. Just some information I found out. This is what I've seen. Like, he's known for aggressive, high-energy style, typically employing a 3-4-2-1 or a 3-4-3 formation, characterized by intense man-orientated passing and direct vertical attacking. His teams emphasize winning the ball up high on the pitch, utilizing wing backs for width and attacking overloads. And if the high press is bypassed, transition into a compact, organized defensive structure. Now, I saw someone say he's like little bit like Conte. Yeah. Obviously, not obviously like Conte, but he's kind of similar kinds of, you know, you don't want to mess around with him. He's strict. He's, you know what I mean, guys? Like, he's like what do you want to call it when you call it like a manager? There's a word for
disciplinarian.
Yeah, disciplinarian. Like, yeah. And
says it how it is, geezer.
Yeah. He's demanding. Yeah. He's a very demanding coach, right? Good. He's going to put these players, you know, he's going to make them work hard. He's going to be pressing, right? We didn't see it really under Frank. Huh? What's that, Matt?
Yeah, put them straight. You know, it's been unacceptable. The body language, you know, you can tell. Anyone that's played football, you can tell the players were not buying what Frank was selling. You could tell it was done. Yeah. It's no knock on Frank. I think Frank will go to a club, I know, Leeds or Leicester in a year's time, Middlesbrough, and I think I think you'll go to one of those clubs and you'll go, oh yeah, Frank's doing all right there. But I think it styles, his style, his brand, his personality just never transmitted to the players. and that the fans never bought Frank. If you look at it fully, barring the ones that didn't like Ange and would have accepted anyone who came in, but most of the fans never really took to Frank. He just never transmitted that, that energy. He gave me that Nuno. Frank gave me Nuno vibes. Adequate manager, wrong club. So I think this guy comes in. It's a short window. I think had this have been December or maybe the start of January, I think the managers might have been a little bit more recognisable. But I think we're in last chance saloon. Any longer and you would have been dragging out Allardyce or Neil Warnock had it been a few more games. It was getting to that stage. So, look, let's give him a shot. Hopefully he can get into the players and we can get a few more performances and results, but needs must.
This is the sort of thing he does, right? He comes into clubs, right? And let's just have a look at their Juventus and Marseille. This is the sort of impact he makes to these teams when he comes in there. Not bad. That's what we need. That's what we need him to do at Spurs in the remaining fixtures. Yeah. And this is what he's known for. He's known for turning around results quickly. And like I said a bit earlier, he came into Juventus, got enough wins and got them into the Champions League that season for the following season. So, look, I know there's a lot of negativity around him. He's not a glamorous name. He's not a manager that many no fans wanted. So I get the negativity in the fan base. And it's going to be one of those, isn't it? We're going to have to wait. I'm going to reserve my judgment, right? I'm going to give the bloke a chance. I am. I'm going to see what he's made of, see how he sets up the team. It's going to be interesting now because if he's going to play three at the back, we're down on centre-backs. Who have we got available right now? Radu, Van der Ven. I know Paulinho can play centre-back, but then you have the problem of who's going to play left wing-back. You've only got the young Brazilian player. Yeah. Unless he pushes out Van der Ven out onto left wing. I don't know, guys. What do you make of it?
Perhaps he'll just be brave and play Sousa. Who knows?
He got a lot of options, has he, Cookie?
I mean,
perhaps he'll play him as a left wing back because he looks like he can get up and down from what we've seen, doesn't he? So that sort of that my major bit is three centre backs. Then if one gets injured, especially if you're playing Paulinho as one. Yeah, we got Van der Ven. We've got Dragusin. Who else have we got that's available?
That's it.
So
and the young
kid, third. Archie Gray can play there if he really needs.
Yeah. Byfield.
Free.
Can you pinch Byfield in there?
Byfield. So Byfield can go in there. So there is options, but again, it's like, do you thrust a youth player in your first game or a youngster that hasn't got a lot of experience? Because you know what it's like. You can either make them or break them.
Sink or swim.
Yeah. And that's what it is at the end of the day. It's having, if you're going to play a youngster because you've got to, for whatever reason, you've got to try and be confident and let him know. And this is going to be part of his job. Let him know he's confident in a young lad's ability to come on the pitch, whether it be a Byfield, whether it be a Barnett Williams, whoever it may be. Because at some stage we might get more injuries. This board's relying on players coming back. That's why they haven't bought any.
And just going to the comment, Rob, he says, do you think bringing in a manager with no affiliation to the club will get these players playing? This is the question we don't know until we see it. Whether Sherwood, Redknapp, King would tell the players they're playing for Spurs. Look, he's not my choice, this guy. I wouldn't have chosen this guy, but what can we do as fans, right? This is the guy they've selected. Yeah. This is the man they want, right? So what can we do? I hear fans say he's crap. He's not good enough. He's not good enough for Spurs. He's never won anything. He gets sacked all the time. I've heard a lot of negativity today. Even people like Matt Law, he says, it's a bit of a risk. He says no Premier League experience, too loud and emotional. Look at the amount of games at each club. And he thinks Spurs have really rolled the dice with this one. It's risky.
These players, right, are either they're gonna, what's the word? He's gonna come into the gaff, right? And he's either gonna go in hard and say, look, this is da-da-da-da-da, or he's gonna have that softly, yeah, until they get to know him, because they've got 10 days, right? I'm pretty sure that 5-day break's going to be cut. And if it's not,
It has to be cut.
if
It has
it's
to be.
not, I want to know why.
Well, they're back Monday, aren't they? We're told 5 days. They should be back tomorrow.
Whichever. So, right, so they're back Monday. They've got all next week. Right, in some way, shape, or form, he's got to get stuck into them. He's got to get some type of pattern of play going, something, because he'll have watched videos and he'll see Spurs defending quite well, sinking back into a shape, knocking it up front to Solanke, and back it comes again. Right, which is pointless. You've got to have an out, Dan. So I'm sure he'll be working on that next week. And he'll be working on shape, getting behind the ball when we haven't got the ball, and movement when we have got the ball. You know? See how he goes, mate.
He's got to hit the ground running, honestly. Yeah. And James in the chat, evening to you. So you guys think these players are going to respect this guy? Again, we don't know. No. We do not know. You hope there'll be some kind of bounce, new manager coming in, new motivation. The club, these players, do they really want to get relegated? Honestly.
As professionals,
surely they've got some pride.
As professionals, they should be respecting whoever walks in the door. To be fair,
they should.
The club has selected that fella to run the club, but whether we like it or not, whether players like it or not, they need to bloody understand the situation that not just the club's in, but they are in as a group of players. We've got World Cup winners in our squad, yeah. And they're sitting close to relegation. All these players are internationals. Someone's got to get a tune out of them. There's 12, whatever it is, 13 games left. Get the tune out of them now. Get it done early. Pull us away from it. Yeah, and let everyone settle down when we go into next year with however it goes. But please, Mr. Tudor, just take it away from it. Take us away. That's all I ask. That's all I want from him. Just take it away. You'll be a legend in my eyes if you get us away from this, because I think he's in trouble with the forward line and having all the injuries he's got. I think whoever comes in, whoever it would be, whether it's him, whoever, would have the same problem. So like Matt says, I think the biggest thing is trying to get the tune out of them. If you can uplift that game slightly, get some patterns of play sorted out during the week, then we can go after that. You know, that's me anyway.
Look, yeah, you're right. Everything you say, man. And I just look at Eugene down in the corner, man. He's not happy. He's not impressed with this one, are you, mate? You want big names. You want attacking. I don't know, man. You tell us how you feeling, because you look a little bit. You look a little bit kind of meh. Yeah, this is not going to do much.
Like, just again, I don't think it matters what he does. At this point, it's up to the leadership group, to senior players.
He's got to make some impact, Eugene. He's going to set the team out, tactics, organisation, who's going to get selected, motivation, drive. Manager's key. You just think it's the players that are going to pull this through.
Look, if it's somebody like Conte or somebody like Jose or somebody with a big name, either if the players have seen him play or if the players saw him lift trophies, then sure. If it's a no-name guy from a different league, right? Or even if it's Ryan Mason, Robbie Keane, it doesn't matter, right? Ultimately, a new manager can only do so much. Yes, we can improve our patterns of play. Yes, the setup can be different. Yes, he can encourage the players who want to play an attacking style to actually feel free and attack, and not to sit back and defend for their lives. However, again, when you face relegation, it's all about who wants it more, right? Our players or West Ham players or Forest players. It's all about that. And senior players on the team, the leadership group, the so-called leadership group, they're the ones who need to step up. And so far this whole season, I understand, and again, I've been going in on Frank since day one. However, our strongest unit on the squad is our back four, which has been healthy for most of the season. And yet we've been shipping chances and goals, just like last season when we played high line. So these defenders, our captain, Vicario, whoever else, they're the ones who need to address the players in the dressing room to pull everybody together and say, we cannot go down. Let's step up and let's improve our game. Again, the coach, the manager, yes, tactics could change. He could yell and scream and give them some speeches, but those players are senior players. They've heard it all before. They won a trophy last season, right? This is not their first rodeo. They played for their national team. They need to find some pride and actually, play to their abilities. So will he help? I hope so. But again, for me, whether it's him or Ryan Mason or Robbie Keane, I don't think I'd be like, okay, now we're good. Now we're not going to be relegated. Right now, it's 50-50 for me. If the players really want it, we have enough talent, even with all the injuries, to be fine, to get 3-4 wins.
Eugene, I was worried that these players, you mentioned about the players
if they give up
together,
it doesn't matter who
giving up
comes
under
in.
Frank. What are they going to, suddenly change now? What were they doing?
And that's why I'm I was shaking my head. Is like, I'm not sure that these players are professional enough and have it in them to fight this fight. Unfortunately, I thought they were, but the way they've been performing for the last couple of months.
What was the turning point, Eugene, for you? What was the turning point when you just thought, he's got to go?
Oh, I had arguments with people and I had a show with Dago, I never wanted Frank in the first place. But for me, the turning point, first, even in the beginning, when we were getting results, our goals were coming from set pieces and own goals. But my turning point was when he did not discipline Spence and Van der Ven when they mugged him off. For me, that showed weakness. And one thing as a manager, for me, tactics is secondary. But as a manager, you need to be a leader. You need to have charisma. You need to inspire, and you have to be strong. So if at that point he would have disciplined them, even if that led to us losing a game or two, I'd be like, okay, you know what? He has something about him. And he would get the respect of the rest of the squad. But he showed weakness, and then the rest of the players tuned out. Romero, who's supposed to be our captain and leader, he tuned out, and that was it. And again, and that's why my question is, can those players find their fight and get us?
Do you predict, Eugene? Give us a prediction before we go to somebody else. I just want to answer Carl's question in the chat. Are we staying up, Eugene?
Man, I still cannot believe that we're having this conversation. For me, it's like a dream. I cannot even believe, my mind cannot comprehend that this is happening. Maybe I'm delusional. I think we will stay up somehow. If you ask me why do I think that, I have no idea. If I think about it with my brain, nothing that I can point to say, yep, we're staying up, given our injuries, given our form. However, I just cannot imagine us not staying up for just no rational reason. I just
think we'll stay up, yeah?
Yeah.
You're confident, yeah? Fair enough. Guys, anyone know this question? Has there been any word on the backroom staff? Frank's lot leaving? I don't know, honestly. Guys, anyone seen anything?
I've been checking to see if anyone else has gone or anyone else has come in from Tudor's side or anything. I haven't seen anything anywhere. Not a dicky bird. So as far as I know, it's just him in so far and no one out.
Okay. Just go to the next one. Save Udinese. Big up, man. Evening to you. Hope you're good. Udinese Verona from relegation turned Lazio around to finish 7th, resigned after dispute over club's transfer plans. Yeah, I saw that today as well. Turned around to Juventus to finish 4th, so not all bad. No, fair points, but the general fan base is not happy. They are worried. They don't think this guy is the guy to turn this round, and I totally understand it. But the thing is, when people get a name set in their head like a red gnat, that's what they want, isn't it? Yeah, that's all they want. They just want Redknapp to come back.
I was one of them guys, Dan. I don't mind saying it, and I'll say it in front of everyone. And I said it earlier on. Some people might laugh, right? But I was like, have Harry as a bit of an advisory, if you like. He's the manager, but he don't have to come in every day. Do you know what I mean? You're being on match day. If he's got to be chauffeur driven from Bournemouth to the training ground or the club, I'm sure they can do that for him. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I'd have Harry doing the tactics, Harry setting everything out, have his coaches, but I'd have one extra coach for in the changing room to wind them up and to get stuck into people when they ain't doing their job properly. A massive Tottenham fan, and that'll be Roy Keane. I'd have him in there, mate. Honestly, to shit the life out of them. Let them know what's going on. Let them make them understand. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think they get it, Dan. I really don't. 25 years, mate. I went to that West Ham game. Right? What a lovely stadium. Isn't it beautiful? Look at the football. Absolutely diabolical.
Oh, well, that Ange interview
diabolical. And I'll tell you what, I'll never go again. I'll never go again until these clowns are gone.
Nah, they're useless, man. Nick. We all know this. It's such a depressing season, man. Honestly, what a horrible season. Now, Matt, I asked this question to Eugene. Do you think we're going down? Are you confident we're staying up? Do we got enough? Where's your head at, Matt, with the kind of relegation battle?
I think the 5 points could be the difference. What I mean by that is I don't think we will better predict. I don't think we'll better West Ham's result, but I think those 5 points will be the nip and tuck that gets us home.
It's going to be that tight. Do you reckon?
I think they might win one. We might win one. I think they might lose one. We might lose one. But I think those. I'm not sure if they're going to cut too much of that 5 point. That 5 point lead. So I think it's going to go. Would I say I'm confident? I wouldn't say I'm confident, but I think we'll just stay up, which is alarming in itself. So it's a difficult conversation because I'm old enough, Dan, to just about remember us getting relegated.
And that was a good team, wasn't it? We had the other night.
I can't believe you nicked my line there. That was my line. That was my segue in. You took it away from.
Yeah. So my older brother was a season ticket holder, and he used to pat me along on his shoulders, so to speak. So, and I just remember being at the ground and people crying. And then I started crying because it's like everybody's crying, not really at the time until you get home and then everyone's talking about it. So, look, I wasn't sure I'd see it again in my lifetime, and hopefully I don't. But I'm hoping this will be the final reminder to the Tottenham board: this can never happen again.
It's a shocker, honestly.
I mean, I think West Ham is going to stay up. I think it's going to be either us, Leeds, or Forest. And I'm thinking we're playing once right against Forest and once against Leeds. Those are 6
home
points.
games. Home
games. Like if we win those two, we should be good, I think. But those are 6 point games, and our form at home, as everybody knows, has not been great. So I cannot believe the Forest game and the Leeds game are our biggest games of the season. It's mental.
Eugene, you never experienced the relegation battle in your life, have you? Supporting to Spurs, you don't know what it is.
No,
you don't understand it.
When people were saying last season we were close, it wasn't close. Never for a second I thought we'd be relegated. It was just our positioning was bad. But and that's why I'm so confused. Like, it's so weird. This feeling I've never had before. I just cannot comprehend how a club of our size can be in this position. But it did happen in the past with other clubs who at the time were big clubs like Villa, I believe, right before. They were a big club and they got relegated. Newcastle, I believe, they were a big
It can
club. And they
happen,
got
man.
relegated.
It can
So,
happen. It can happen.
and the craziest
You
thing
know.
to me, and maybe you want to touch on it later, but like this board and ENIC, how can a club be in a relegation battle and we do not bring anybody in other than Gallagher, who we didn't even need in January? Like,
Yeah, we might touch
that's
about the
part
board,
that's
Eugene.
mental.
Near the end. I think I'm sure everyone on the panel, people in the chat, want to talk about this board. They're absolute shocker, honestly. Guys, what happened with this Teddy Sheringham thing today? He come out and said something. Anyone know? People in the chat, people are posting something about Teddy.
That he didn't. He basically said he didn't understand the interim. He thought we should have signed a permanent manager.
Okay,
but
that's
not many
what he come out and
options
said.
there.
Okay. Peter in the chat, evening to you. Gross got a lot of stick, but he came in under similar circumstances and kept us up. And wasn't that, I'm sure, guys, Klinsmann coming back, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was the difference there on that season, if I can remember.
Yes.
Came back and saved Spurs. His goals kept us up, and then he was sacked this following season. Look, you got one of the worst performing records, but like managers like Ange and Frank are even worse, I think. Points per game.
Frank's got the worst record of any Tottenham manager who've played more than 5 games.
It's mental. What a I don't know. Frank completely
27% win percentage, which is the lowest by a lot.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it.
If anyone don't mind. How much of it do you put on Frank? I know ultimately the ultimate problem, but on the pitch, how much do you put of it on Frank, and how much do you put of it on? And I hate to mention this word, but I'm going to say it, injuries and the players themselves. So those 3 things. Is it a bit of both, or is there a bit more blame pie to go round, as you would say?
Who wants to go first on that one? I got my say on it, but let someone else go.
Go for it, then. Go for it.
Look, these players. I know they get slated. I know many fans think they're shit, but they're not this bad. Honestly, they're not. And obviously, the injuries are piled up, haven't they, since January? But even before the injuries, we weren't performing well. We were scraping by, struggling. Football was terrible. And like Eugene, you made a key point earlier when you said that, the disrespect to Thomas Frank from the likes of Van der Ven and Spence. And I think that was like early November, right? After the Chelsea defeat. I think he lost to Jesserman from then, and I just don't think he recovered. And I just don't think the players believed in his football. So I do put a lot down to the manager, not completely. I think some of the signings, we didn't do enough in the window for key positions. Obviously, injuries have piled up. That hasn't helped now. But I just think a lot of it is down to the manager, in my opinion. I think we shouldn't be this low in the league. We should be at least in the top half of the table trying to push for Europe. Having a manager trying to get more out of those players. We ain't got the best players. We know that. We're nowhere near the top 5 teams in this league. But we should be pushing up that top half of that table, competing, winning home games. It's a disgrace. What's it? 2 home win all season. I've never seen it ever. I know Ange's record last season got bad and he lost a lot of games as well, but this is just unbelievable stuff. So a lot of it, Cookie, I put down to the manager. Yes, we need better players. Of course, we all know that. Yeah, we know the club missed out on certain positions in the summer, like the left winger. We needed a centre forward, we needed a left back, we need a passer in midfield. We need players if we want to become a good side, a competitive side to challenge the top sides. We're well off it. But I think there's enough there. If set up correctly, in the right way, in an attacking way, we should be doing a hell of a lot better. And Matt, and I'll go to you next. If you compare our squads to the teams above us, the likes of Sunderland, and I know they dropped off a bit, Brentford, prime example. I know people say, well, Brentford haven't got Europe, but come on, Brentford are doing so well. challenging on Arsenal yesterday. There's a number of teams I can point to. Fulham, like there's loads of them that I think we have a better squad than these teams. We spent so much money building this team. Matt, over to you, mate.
Yeah, look, I think the supporters of Frank will use the line that we play every 3 or 4 days. But to dispel that myth is we've had a lot of free midweek games. You know, we've had a lot of periods where we've had a full week of training and then we put in damp squid performances. You know, so I'm not subscribing to the Sunderland only play once a week or Brentford only play once a week. Look at the performance against Newcastle. Look at the performance the weekend. Look at the performance against West Ham. We had a full week to prepare for West Ham. Look at that performance at home against one of your fiercest rivals. So I don't subscribe to that. You know, we have to play every 3 or 4 days. Frank took the job. He would have looked at the roster of fixtures. He would have known exactly what he was walking into. So I think he's gone into the job with his eyes wide open. And there were question marks about Frank taking this job before he got it. And one of the questions was, how is he going to manage playing every 3 or 4 days? He's never had to do that at Brentford. So I don't think that's a valid excuse for where we've showed deficiencies. I think the manager has to get the best out of his squad. He has to get a tune out of his squad. The most damning fact for me is the players had stopped running for the manager. That's the biggest I want you to leave indication that you can get. The players have stopped running. And that was so evident in the last couple of games. So regardless of tactics, formations, who's injured, who's available, the players, these are professional footballers, most of them internationals, that have stopped running for the manager. It's unacceptable. Yeah. It's unacceptable. So no matter how we dress this up, whatever that manager's saying is not working. It's not working. So whether the players are good enough or not, you can go and watch a League Two match. The players will run around.
Yeah,
they'll make it difficult.
The basics are gone, Matt, isn't it? That's what you're saying. The
fundamentals. Yeah, the fundamentals. The fundamentals. You've got no chance, Dan, as a football club, if the players are not working for the manager. In any business, whatever industry you're in, if you're the shop floorman, if they're not working for you, production stops. So I think it's an open and shut case. It had to change. We can do the post-mortems at the end of the season, who, why, and when, but we had to make that change. We have not won a football match in the Premier League this year. We're in almost the middle of February. We've not, listen to this. Sure. When we've gone in at half-time losing, we've not come back and won one match this season in the Premier League when we've been losing at half-time. That tells you, Dan, when he goes into that dressing room at half-time, whatever he's told them has not translated into a win in the second half. Mm-hmm. These are just damning facts. Managers can get the formation wrong in the first half. He goes in at half-time and goes, right, need to change this. You get a tune out in the second half, they come back and win the game. We've not been able to come back and win a match. We've been losing at half-time in the Premier League.
No.
That's all the answers for me.
Fair enough, man. Yeah, good answer. Eugene, how do you want to answer that one?
I think the Frank horse has been beaten to death. I mean, we can all see with our eyes. Again, unfortunately, what I was saying even before he was hired came true. He has a mid-table mentality. Every manager, every coach in the Prem and even in the lower leagues, they know tactics. They can coach. What makes a good big club manager versus a mid-table manager is somebody who can handle expectations, who can handle egos, and who can inspire players and the fans. You can say whatever you want about Ange, and yeah, you can say he failed, but he did manage Celtic, a big club. He understands what what expectations are, what the rivalry is with Rangers. When Frank gave his interview and saying we're going to be losing games, that's not what the fans want to hear. That's not what the players want to hear. You cannot set up in a double pivot at home against Wolves with Betancourt and Palhinha. So for me, the results are secondary, as weird as it sounds. When I saw us play a certain way and getting our goals from set pieces, even when we were getting results, I said it was not sustainable. I was getting into arguments with fans saying, look, this is not sustainable. We cannot score goals. This is not the right setup. And unfortunately, I was right. However, let's leave Frank for a second because he's an easy target. If you look at our players, some, again, like senior players, some of our players are disgraceful. I was a huge fan of Romero. I even called him the world class a couple of years ago. However, last season, he cost us countless games with his mistakes, lack of focus, right? Him being hurt for us, but being fit for Argentina a week later, right? He can have one great 10 out of 10 game every 5 games, but then he cost us games. And that was last season, and people said it's the high line. That's why we're leaking goals. This season, we played low block or mid block. Same mistakes. We're getting caught out the same way. Romero loses focus the same way. He wins every header in the attacking box and scores goals in our own box. He cannot win a header. I've never seen a captain who cannot organize his back line, or an elite defender who cannot organize his back line, who cannot defend properly and runs around without any structure. So, and Vicario regressed, Poirot regressed. Again, you can say it's the tactics, but Poirot going from being our best passer last season to not being able to put in a good cross this season. Again, a lot of it is tactics. But
confidence
when we are in
loss
position,
as well, Eugene. Confidence
those
loss.
players are not stepping up. And if they're the kids, you can say, yes, they need to be inspired. Yes, the manager, isn't getting the best out of them. But they're professional players on big wages. They're internationals. They should have some pride and play not for the manager, not even for the fans, for each other. In that dressing room, Vicario, Porro, Romero, Bentancur, Palhinha, they should look at each other and say, hey, we're not going to lose to West Ham. We're not going to be beaten 3-0 by Forest out of pride. But these senior players are adding tools. And what that tells me is, regardless of the manager, you can bring in Pep or Fergie. These players are front runners. When things are going well, they're going to be playing well. However, when things are tough, like they are right now, not a single player is stepping up and saying, yep, it's my responsibility. I can't even talk. It's my responsibility. I'll do what it takes to win. And that, for me, is the most damning thing. Frank, yes, is a target, but the players have a lot to answer for. And that's why I was getting into arguments about Romero. Like, if he's gone, I'm okay with that. Sell him. He's not a captain for me. He doesn't lead. And the way these players are responding to the situation is partially to blame on the leadership or lack of leaders on this team. So I hold the players largely responsible for the mess we're in. Sorry
Fair
for the
enough.
rant, but
No. You can say what you want, mate. We all got different opinions. Just go to Rob in the chat here. He says, all connected, players not wanting to play for Frank not giving players something to believe, all connected. Yeah, right. I think spot on. There's just no motivation with these players at all to win games of football. It's just shocking. I've never seen this. Awful.
Fucking no motivation. No motivation. They're playing for Tottenham.
Well, they haven't got it, have they?
Well, they fucking should have done.
Yeah, I know.
But that says it all, Dan.
I can't even believe we're having a conversation about not having motivation for putting a Spurs shirt on. Fuck off then.
Where do you leave it, Cookie, then? Who's to blame? Manager, players?
Ultimately, it's the players, isn't it? The tactics have just been rubbish. at the end of the day. We all know that. We all know it's a pragmatic way he played. Whether he thought that was the way to do it because he didn't have the forward players available, who knows? Who knows what he thought, right? But it obviously didn't work. They've had enough. They've changed it, right? Somehow, some way, however shit people think these players are, right? He's got to find 15, 20% out of them, and he's got to get them playing to the max and get them to understand the situation that is at hand. If they don't understand it, right, they've got to be as thick as shit, right? They're getting booed every week. The managers are getting booed every week. And the only people that are getting away with it, as usual, is them. Mate, I wish fans, you know, when I was there for the West Ham game, he got the shit booed out of him. Trust me, Frank out, 20,000 of them, right? Which is fine. I get that. Yeah. But like I said before, they employed him and no one's shouting for them out. And what pisses me off, Dan, is, right, what really pisses me off is that fans cannot understand this has been going on for years. Managers are sacrificial lambs at Tottenham. If you can't get the best managers to do it, you know, if you're a football club and you bring Mourinho in or Conte in, right, they want players. They want the best players to build the best teams and squads to go and win everything. Tottenham are not that club. They just don't do it. And that's what frustrates me, Dan, because I feel like this fella's coming in now because they've fucked up originally. Igor, please save us. Yeah. And then we'll get to the end of the season, finish 15th, 16th or 17th, and away we go again.
Cookie, I'm just drained by this club, man. Honestly, it sucks the life out of you. Another season like this after last season, mate. Honestly, I'm drained by it all. Now we got this what's it? How do you pronounce his name? Tudor. Is it Tudor? Is that the right pronouncement?
Tudor.
Yeah, Tudor. It's gamble. It's a massive gamble. This guys, honestly.
Dan, can I just say one thing before I be quiet? Sorry, Matt.
Go for it.
I want to go in on the fans a bit, and I know it's unpopular, but
do you want to go in on the fans?
Or the fans at the ground. They're quick to boo the players, which is cool. Like I might do the same thing. They're quick to sing, "You're being sacked in the morning." Nobody's showing up to protests. Nobody's singing "Inik out." The same fans are defending Romero and players when Romero was speaking up, and fans like what he's saying. It's awesome. They're like, "Romero, go for it." Next game, he gets a red card and he's gonna be out for 4 games. Nobody talks about holding the players accountable. So the fans, like as fans, we need to hold everybody accountable, the board, the managers, and the players. But the fans, they just don't seem to care as much. It's easy to sing, "You're being sacked in the morning." Also, again, super unpopular, I know, but singing Poch's name in the ground, to me, it's like, I don't get it. It's not like he won a treble for us. It's not like he even won a trophy. So singing Poch's name there, it just shows the mentality of the Spurs fans. And I'm sorry, I like
Eugene,
Poch.
I agree, mate. Honestly, I don't think there's enough Spurs fans who care enough.
It's small, like personally. Again, I love Poch, but for me, saying Frank should be sacked, singing Poch's name while not showing up to the protest, while not holding the players accountable, while not holding Inik accountable, to me, like the fans are responsible as well.
No, look, I don't understand why not enough fans want to do something about it. Unfortunately, they don't. There's not enough fans who want to, hold the club accountable for, 25 years of disappointment, really. Honestly, look, we have made finals over the years. We just not got it over the line. Competed in the Champions League, got to a Champions League final in a title race, maybe. But look, we just haven't got it over the line so many times. The club have not backed managers. It's just plain simple as that. But regarding the fans, Inik are not going to go anywhere unless there's a massive change in how the fans, if not buying season tickets, not going to the games. And there has been a little bit of that recently. The attendances have been lower, not spending money in the club. But let's be honest here. as soon as another manager comes in the summer, and for example, like a Pochettino, the majority of the fan base will be back on board, and they'll be like, "Yeah, here we go again." So
Pochettino gives them time, Dan, doesn't he?
yeah, it does.
He just gives them time if it's going a bit wrong. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but it's like I said earlier, mate, to you. It's like if he came in now and Enoch's still in with what we've got, that's a totally different base start to what he had when he first came with the original.
With the injuries.
It's fan service.
injuries.
That's all it is. Fan service.
What's that, Eugene?
I said it's fan service. For me, that just screams off the fans are on our back. Let's make him happy for a bit, but screams of no plan. It's just let's
that's what it is.
Let's just do this conversation now then. Poch back, yeah? We'll just start off with Matt. Would you have Poch back in the summer?
Yes. I feel because when you look at it, when you look at where Spurs are, we also have to look at the level of manager that we can attract. So when you do the full, like if you do a filter and if we look at this, because we've had Jose, we've had Conte, we're not going to get Jurgen Klopp. You know, you're talking about serial winners. You're talking about Rafa Benitez. You know, there's only a certain amount of managers that are trophy winners. You know, won trophies, won leagues, and cup competitions. So Poch to me is one of the managers that is of a certain level in the game. He's fairly well respected as a good manager. He's got an affinity for Spurs, and he's also got that connection with the fan base. So if you're doing a for and against, there's more for the appointment than against it. Now I understand the people that say, well, he's never won anything at Spurs and second time's never the same as the first time. I understand those questions, but I just look at it as a simple, how many's for and how many's against, and I just think he ticks more boxes. He knows the league. He's well respected within the fan base, most of them. He's a good manager. He loves Spurs, and I think he feels like he's got something he wants to prove. I think he wants to come back and do something. I also think he's going to get time. I think he's going to get time from the majority of the fan base. There's always going to be a section that's going to say, first two defeats, you see. But I think he's going to get more time than most managers that come back to Spurs. And if he can sprinkle even half of the stuff that he did last time, which is how we played. You know, he was good with the young players. Okay, some of them never had 50 games for Spurs, but the Ryan Masons and the Bentalebs and these guys, he gave them their starts. He gave them their heads, the Kyle Walkers, the Danny Roses. He gave those guys the opportunity to play consistently for Spurs. So for me, I think I would challenge who else. If somebody said no to Poch, I would say, okay,
we've got someone here on the bottom right there. You're okay. Eugene's willing to come in. Before you do, Eugene, I do just quickly before you two have a little battle over this. At the end of the day, I've lost all hope with this club. Enoch, I don't believe in them at all. I think it's kind of like sticking a plaster over what do you want to call it, a wound which just doesn't stop bleeding. That's what I think it will be. And yeah, it'll be great having Poch back, excitement, but will they back him? Will they up the wage structure? Will they go and actually buy top players? No, I don't believe so. Over to you, Eugene.
I just, I think we romanticize the past and we forget actually what happened when Poch was around, right? First of all, he had Paul Mitchell. Now we have Johan Lang. The players that were brought in, yes, he developed them, but those were really good players, right? The league was different. All the big teams, or most of the big teams, were down. City wasn't City yet, right? Villa, Newcastle weren't where they are right now. So at that moment, we could attract some good players. And that was
Did we, Eugene? Who did we really sign? under
No, but I'm
Pochettino,
saying
who was
at
big
that
time.
time, we didn't have to compete with other 10 teams. Because right now, if you look, this league to me is much.
You said players. You said signing players, Eugene.
Well, but signing players too, like, I don't know. I see the point, right? We signed a lot of, but even if you look at other world, he came from Atleti, right? He was a good player. He wasn't elite. I can see what you're saying, what Matt is saying, right? If we can get the same caliber of young players, Poch could potentially mold them. The question, I just think the league is different, the expectations are different. Managers don't now get 5 years to mold players. And I think just the way Poch managed back in the day, I'm just not sure if it's gonna fly this time around when fans and the board wants results. We have 12 teams now that are competing for top 5. Most teams in the league are tough outs, or 10 teams. Everybody can sign players. Look at the recruitment for Brighton, for Brentford, even for Palace, right? Everybody can unearth, gems and kids. So just for me, I think it's much tougher. And given the board that we have, Johan Lange and Vinay, I think the situation for him isn't the same as it was previously. But my biggest thing is not even kind of what Poch can do. I'm zooming out. It's not even about a manager. I want the club to have a plan. I don't want the club to appease the fans. I don't want the club to say, like, to go with what's popular. I want them to be able to make tough decisions. Bringing Poch back to me screams, we have no plan. We just want to get the fans on our side. I want to zoom out and I want to see a plan for the next 5 years, 10 years. To me, I just don't see that Poch is that guy. Again, for me, it's fan service. For me, it's let's get the heat off our backs. Let's put it on Poch, and hopefully he can do something. Versus, here's the plan. Let's find a new Poch. Let's find a new manager who we can build with. And
okay,
that
give us a name, Eugene.
You can
Who do you want? Who do you want, man?
Or like company who got relegated, but now we can see what he did.
You'd rather take Robbie Keane in over than Pochettino.
I'm not saying even like I'm saying Robbie Keane type, a new manager who is given time would get me excited. Poch, I don't know. I just think it screams of fan service and no planning from the club, and that's what scares me.
Guys, we haven't got long left. I've got 10 minutes and then I've got to shut the show down, I'm afraid. Sorry, guys. Everyone in the chat, please smash the like button. Please subscribe to Cookie 2 Mark's show as well. Put the link in the chat. Thank you so much. Matt, do you want to respond, or Cookie, do you want to respond to Eugene? And the question was, would you have
go on, Cookie?
Tell me again, Dan. Sorry, I've been out making coffee.
Yeah,
mate.
would you have Poch back?
Under the right circumstances, yeah.
All these conditions, eh?
Well,
We've
look,
got these conditions.
At the end of the day, he's done the ENIT route, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's not been there. So he knows how it works. I'm sure he's been watching from afar. You know what I mean?
Oh, we saw the interview. You must have watched the interview, Cookie, eh? The high performance interview, man. You know.
The main thing is with Poch, right? I don't know how you say it, but you know when we say someone gets Tottenham, do you know what I mean? For me, Poch got Tottenham. He knew what Tottenham was all about. He knew how to deal with the fans, especially when things were going well. He knew how to talk in press conferences, generally. Do you know what I mean? And I just think if you had the right people, and I'm not talking about just throwing lumps and lumps and lumps of money at it. I don't mean it like that. What I'm saying is when he was here before and he had Paul Mitchell here by his side, right? He would give a profile of player to Paul Mitchell, and Paul Mitchell would draw up what he thought were the best things to come to Tottenham, right? And I've no doubt even back then they were using data-driven, right? But Paul Mitchell had an eye for a footballer. And I think a lot of that has been taken away now with this data-driven thing. And I think we need someone back like a Paul Mitchell. I don't think there's any point bringing a Poch in with a Lange, because I don't think he'd work with him anyway. I think he'd have to go straight away. But he shouldn't be here now. I don't get how he's still here, the geezer.
Oh, he'll lose his job. He'll be gone in the summer.
Do you know what I mean?
But he's got to go, hasn't he?
For me, Poch has got to have a Mitchell or a Mitchell type
a better
fella.
Sporting director, yeah.
Yes.
100%. Guys, I just want final thoughts for the night. Anything you want to say, just go around the panel before we close the show down. Final thoughts on the decision today. I mean, it's very underwhelming. I've got to be honest. I can't say I'm looking forward to the North London derby with this guy in charge. And yeah, there's just a bit of that, isn't there? I mean, Matt, what are you thinking? Have you got anything to tell the fan base that, believe in this manager?
Look, for me,
I don't know, man.
Look, I don't know him. I don't know him. I don't know him. What I do know, Dan, is for the first time in a long time, I was struggling to watch Spurs this season. That's what I do know. I was struggling to watch Spurs, and we've had some bad teams and we've had some bad managers in the past, but we always had a player. We always had a 5 minutes in the game, whether that be Ginola, whether that be a Defoe, Berbatov, go through the list of who's. We always had a player that if they had a 5 minutes, you'd go, wow. I've struggled to watch Spurs sometimes this season. I've watched it, but I've struggled.
Oh, it's painful, Matt. It's been awful. Awful season.
It's been a real tough watch. So for me, just me being the eternal optimist, I might regret saying this, but can it get any worse? I don't know. I just listen. We'll revisit this in May, Dan. Let's have a show in May and remember we had this conversation on the 13th of February. I can't see it getting any worse, Dan. It's been absolutely.
Can he get enough wins?
Paint dry.
Yeah. Fair enough, Matt. No, look, it's difficult.
It can't get any worse, mate.
No, and I just think, can this manager get enough wins? And that's it, isn't it? Can he get us enough wins to keep us in the league? I don't think anyone's expecting much other than just to keep us in the league, get some wins. Give these players a kick up the arse. That's it. Honestly, I can't back this guy. I can't say he's going to be a success. I bloody well hope he does for our club to keep us in the league. And if it goes wrong, Matt, honestly, Enoch, that's it. We all say.
Oh, listen, it's a different conversation.
Yeah,
it's a different conversation if we go down. I dread to think. Of if we get relegated. I don't know. God help us.
Cookie, Eugene, final thoughts, because I've really got to shut the show down. Big up to everyone in the chat. Thank you for your comments. Thank you so much, guys.
Go on, Eugene.
Yeah, no, I mean, Matt is spot on. I used to wake up at 4:30 in the morning here in the States with my son to watch games. I haven't done it in months. I'm just watching games on replay, and because as Matt said, it's a chore, it's a job to watch the games. I mean, I never thought we would lose to West Ham, because I'm like, there's no way we're getting relegated. After the West Ham loss, I'm like, okay, now it's a possibility. Now what I thought would never happen, now it could happen. Like, for me, that was the game. So on the other hand, I'm really hoping that we can take a point from Arsenal. I don't know how, but that would be Spursy. Just, I don't know how, but my heart tells me just please, like, maybe it's doable. So maybe I'm in denial. My brain tells me we might go down, but my heart says somehow we'll pull it out. So the manager, again, it's on the players for me. The manager is irrelevant. I don't think anybody would be happy with anybody who was available who would come in. The players need to step up to put their big boy pants on and give us a couple of wins. And I wouldn't be shocked if we get a point against Arsenal. I'm not gonna lie. That would be Spursy. In the worst season, if we get a point, that would make our season. Staying up and seeing them not win, that would be a great season in my book.
All right, quickly, Cookie, final thoughts.
I'm
I've really
out
got
of
to
here,
shut
Dan.
down.
I'll let you get away. I know you're busy, mate. Just to say, I've got a show going at 9:45. So if any of you people in the chat want to get over there and join in, Matt, Eugene, you're more than welcome to pop on. The link will be in the chat at the top. If you want to jump on, come on. We'll have a chat for an hour or however long we're on. Let's get some people in the chat, have it large, and talk about Mr. Tudor. Dan, great show.
Cheers.
Great show,
Cheers.
mate. Listen,
Cheers,
I've got your
guys.
show on my phone. These frauds in this chat, mate, right? Hit that like button. What's the matter with
please.
you lot?
Just
Come
hit
on.
the like, hit the like
button.
on
If
the
you
way
ain't
out.
this
it's
geezer,
free.
he's got
It's
a
free.
family, a job. He's on here
Yeah.
at night. Come on, people.
Thank you,
hit
man.
that like
Thank
button.
you. Cheers, Cookie. And yeah, look, everybody in the chat, go over to the team marks. Cookie's got loads to say, so go and give him out. He's got so much passion in there. He's got the energy for it. So go and check him out at 9:30. Please, everyone in the chat, smash the like, subscribe if you're new. Much appreciated. Cheers, Cookie. Cheers, Matt, for coming on. Cheers, Eugene.
Cheers, Matt.
Late
Eugene.
notice on the stream. And take care of yourselves, everybody. And we'll see what what this new manager does. We've got a bit of a wait, haven't we, into the next game? So big up to everyone who's watched and all your comments. Sorry, Matt, you want to say something?
No, just going to say one thing I know, Dan. We can't get beat this weekend.
Very true.
Just get a point.
We've got
Get
a
a
weekend
point.
off, Go and do something else. Go and have some fun. Anyway, good night, everyone. Take care of yourselves.
Cheers,
and as
Dan.
always,
come on, you Spurs.